All right. Welcome to Talkin Trades. I'm Rut Walker, your host with Union Up. As always, with me is Randy Beal, who is our business manager for the Atlanta North Georgia Building Trades, also known as Georgia Construction Careers. Today, we have Mike Shaefer and Melanie Cannon from Amalgamated Life, the family of companies that are union and serve unions. So, Melanie, why don't you just tell us a little bit about Amalgamated and what you do, and let's get the conversation started.
Sure. Amalgamated Life is owned by a pension fund. We're owned by the Workers United Pension Fund, and we do benefits for union groups, both on the group side, life, stop loss, and then we also do a bunch of supplemental benefits.
And so, Mike, what's the net for the local union members that you serve?
Well, our roots are in unions. We've been in the business since 1943, got in the business to help serve the underserved unions, primarily at the time it was New York. And we've expanded now as a national company. Georgia, we've been in for several years. We've got a business here, but we always looking to expand our business. And this is a market that we'd love to have more opportunities in.
You're based out of?
We're based out of White Plains, New York.
Okay.
I live out of the Orlando area, travel up here quite a bit.
Give us an example of what services a union member or their family might be most interested that you do based on the work that we do here. You know, we're basically the building trades here. We're
right.
Electricians, plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, sheet metal, et cetera, heavy equipment, so forth.
Right. We serve all of the unions first. We typically work at the local level, so it could be the group life insurance that the local has for its members, the medical stop loss to help protect their assets. So if they have large medical pharmacy claims, we're there to protect them. We also owned a union-owned pharmacy benefit management program, AEBRX, which serves the unions. And so it's from serving the unions as a group, the local as a group, to serving the members. Melanie runs our voluntary supplemental benefit unit to also offer additional benefits to the members to supplement what the unions provide in the negotiated area.
So supplemented in terms of what?
Well, it could be life insurance, it could be disability. So the union may negotiate certain benefits that are part of the contract, and then these would supplement those benefits and take them into retirement. So there are benefits that folks can keep while they would purchase it while they were actively working, and then they could keep these benefits through retirement. And they can also get benefits for their spouses, their dependent children, and even grandchildren on some of the life insurance products that we have.
What is the largest union you'll serve?
Largest union, probably, I would say Teamsters.
And how about in the building trades?
Smart.
Yeah. Okay, sheet metal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got it. When they merged with the air rail transportation side, did y'all pick up people on the transportation division then as well?
That is our largest, actually one of our largest clients is the transportation and rail.
Okay.
Of Smart.
Yeah.
We do have some small locals that, like I do business with a local in Connecticut, happens to be my dad's local. So, so we do the life insurance for them. It's a 1,500 life, sheet metal local out of Connecticut.
So that's interesting. So what union was your dad in?
Local 40, sheet metal local 40.
Oh, it was sheet metal worker.
Yep.
Okay. Well, hey, you're already a friend. Look at
That's
there.
right.
Sheet metal worker. There we go.
Tin knocker, as he would call it. He's been retired for a little while, so.
Listen, all due respects to President Sellers and Smart, but I know it as sheet metal workers. So my father was a sheet metal worker as well. So what benefit do you think is, we know they're all great. What is the one essential benefit you offer that you think no union member should be without?
Personally, I think supplemental life insurance.
Bingo.
I think life insurance, a permanent life insurance that they can have for their families when the term insurance that they are either offered through the union or even the term insurance that they might have bought on the outside goes away. It's a permanent coverage that will stay in force for and offer final benefits for their family members.
Right. Earlier we were talking in our meeting with them about the products, and it came to me, and I almost said it, that I believe that it would be great if we could institute those kind of things like life insurance when they're apprentices. I know they make the least amount of money at that point in their career, but it's cheap at that time in their career. If someone elects to have insurance at that time, at what point does it go up in premium? And is it a 10-year cycle, or is it?
It actually never goes up on the whole life. So
On the whole
that's
life.
the beauty of it. It's why it's called whole life. You pay the same premium for your whole life. We offer a term products on a voluntary basis that have a 10-year, 15, or 20-year. And either the union can decide that, to only offer one or two or all three, or the member can pick it when we do the enrollment. But that's the example. Like if you buy the 10-year, it's level for 10 years, and then it jumps to your current age. I just went through that on a 20-year level term I bought several years ago. Well, my situation was different, and it just expired. Well, the rate went up 10 times if I wanted to keep it.
Right.
And that's the beauty of whole life. I bought a whole life policy for my two sons when they were kids. 3 and 7 years old. Now they're 35 and 40, and it's still in their name. It's accruing cash values, and so it's really worked for the purpose of it, and it's cheap. It's $20 a month, and so it's it's very inexpensive. In your example, you have somebody that's an apprentice, so maybe they buy what they can purchase. We call it money purchase. They can afford $5 a week, okay. And then as they go on, maybe later on they want to increase that. We have ways that they can do that, later on if their needs change, through re-enrollment, so forth, so on. And so that's a perfect example of somebody that should be looking at it. Put that $5 or $10 a week away and forget it, and keep it there to build something for your future. And when you're age 60, you're still paying $5 or $10, but you have the face amount, which means the amount of the insurance, what you bought when you were 23 years old. Versus if you try to buy it when you're age 60, $10 isn't going to buy you anything.
Yeah, the 23-year-old. I would imagine the challenge is getting the 23-year-old to realize he or she is not bulletproof.
Yeah,
Exactly.
No, that's the thing. Is so you couldn't have convinced me this when I was 20, but life insurance is one of those things that you need more so in your early years than in your later years. Because, hopefully, maybe not true for all construction workers, but hopefully they become less debt when they're older. So the need for big policies should minimize.
Yes.
But maybe that's not the case in construction. I know a lot of guys are living paycheck to paycheck, so maybe they need the big protection all the time. But I just think for me, it's a burden. I'd like to see apprentices maybe pushed to purchase, because I've seen it over and over. People get killed on the job, or they're killed in a car accident, and families are really ruined. Right? They have the man was, or the woman could be the primary income and be in sheet metal. My sister-in-law is a sheet metal worker. So, if that money is taken away, that's huge.
So take us through, if you're a younger person up to certain ages, what would you do? How would you help them in that regard? How would you coach them on what products to have at what age, in what situation?
Yeah, I think what we typically do in a group is we come in and offer 2 products at a time. So we would say we would offer the permanent life insurance and maybe an accident plan or maybe a disability plan, right? Kind of round out their benefit portfolio. And then we would just talk to them about the other thing that you have to think about too is these are guaranteed issue products, right? So they're guaranteed the coverage. So let's just say you had someone that was an apprentice and he took the coverage out while he was young. And then maybe 5 years down the line, he finds out he has, I hate to, say it, but people get cancer. They have these problems. Now he's like, okay, I need this coverage. Well, guess what? You don't qualify now because if you try to get it on the outside, you're going to answer health questions and they're going to decline you for coverage. Mm-hmm. So that's what we typically do. Not scare them into anything, because that's not really what you want to do. You want to say, okay, you need to plan for the future. So what is $5 a week going to do right now for you? You're spending $5 a week on your coffee, or you're spending $5 a day on coffee, So that's what we try to talk to them about, is this is how it's going to round out. And not only that, if they decide that they want to do something different, like they want to have a production company and they don't want to be a sheet metal worker anymore or an electrician anymore, this is a way that they can keep that coverage. They got it through the union and they got it through that sponsorship, but now it's something that they can bring into the future with them.
So what is that process like? Can anyone enroll at any given time individually? Do you have to go through the local? Is it offered as a part of an open enrollment type deal? Like take us through that process, if you would.
Yeah. So typically it's offered, I know it's an individual product owned by that member, but it's offered in that group setting of the union. So the union is not, I don't want to say a sponsor, it's just the union is like the vehicle, like the
conduit, so to speak.
Right. And then what we would do is we have several different ways to enroll, depending if it's a multi-employer group. We might do some kind of link to a website. We might do a call center. We might do text blast, email blast to say, hey, this is available for you now. Check it out. Sometimes we have on that, we have a message from the president of the local saying, hey, guys, we vetted this company. We looked into it. This is available for you. Give them a call and, and find out more about the benefits.
And so you would link to their site and they can click through and do all the application.
Yep.
How important is I know this is for me. I've been married 27 years. My spouse makes many of our financial decisions. How important is it to educate not only the union member, but the union member's significant other?
It's very important, because a lot of times, and this a lot of times happens face to face. That's when we notice it. Is they might get at work, they might have the opportunity to purchase these benefits, and they'll say, "I need to take this home and show it to my wife." We've had some guys that have brought their wives in and sat with an enroller and went through it.
That's what I do.
Yeah. So yeah, it's very important.
Go ahead.
No, well, we talked earlier about in the meeting about how it's ACH, and which is a draft out of the checking and or savings or whatever. In the world we live in, I'm one of these, so that's why I'm bringing it up. I don't give our checking account out to anybody. That's just if we have a bill that is paid that way, we actually have a third account that I move. Well, I don't move anything. My wife moves money into, and that's the only thing anybody has access to. Another provider, they did credit card payment. So I would ask you to look into that, because members like to do that because they capture points.
Yeah.
I charge everything to a credit card because that's just the way it works.
Right.
So that might be another option for a payment form, and you may already do that. I don't know, but just people are very leery about that going into my checking account thing. It's so I don't want to make people think that's the only avenue.
No, it's not. Actually, so if we do an ACH only, right, without checking account, we do it through Amalgamated Bank. It's our sister company of ours. If their union's interested in also doing credit card payments, we would use an outside company, because we can't do the swipe out of it. So what we do is we work with companies like a Piedmont or a Piopac, and that's what they do. They actually take the money, and then for us, we bill Piedmont, and Piedmont sends the money to us. So they do the swipe, so they make sure that when the credit cards expire, they go back and get new credit card. They do all of that legwork for the company. Sure. And there's a fee to that. So that's where you have to balance. Because with ACH, there is no fee. We do it for free out of our partnership with Amalgamated Bank.
I know some of the unions in the payment of union dues, they add the fee in, if you're going to use credit card, whatever. But that's just an option. I just, want to bring it up that I think that would be attractive. The other thing, that I do a cancer policy with another vendor. And, I'm one of those, I don't want to pay it monthly. I just bill me one time for the year. I'm done. And, that's kind of how it works, So just trying to give you some ideas about what I think is attractive to other members, that would make it a little bit easier for a transition for them. In addition to life insurance, do y'all sell cancer policies? And I know disability. Do you do those kind of things?
Yeah, we have critical illness. It's not approved in Georgia. Georgia is a tough state for insurance, but we are filing a new product, so that should be when that's ready. It should go. We think that it's going to be approved by the State Department of Insurance. But we have accident. So accident, critical illness. We also do, we have a legal plan that we do and that we partner with another company on. And we also do cybersecurity or identity theft. I always call it cybersecurity, but which is another really good benefit now, especially for the younger folks. They're really, like we were talking about earlier, is, they want to see that kind of protection for themselves because they're all, they're on the web and they are doing everything electronically.
What's the biggest misconception? I know a lot of people think, oh, well, if I get hurt on the job, I got workers' comp or whatever. Like, what's the biggest misconception about what they're covered for and what they're not covered for? That you can educate people, and the light kind of goes on. They go, oh wow, I thought I was covered for that through my employer, but I'm not.
The biggest thing with these products, particularly in that example, would be the accident benefits. We pay directly to the member. Okay. We don't deal with the providers. We pay the member. So it's a member claim. It's not. We're not paying the hospital. We're not paying the doctor. We don't have to go through all coordination of benefits and other insurance. That is the biggest selling point. Is this? It's a much simpler process.
So it's more like income replacement rather than sort of
inconvenience. Quite honestly, a lot of to do to get you money quicker. Because
and I think too, if you think about it in a family plan, right? So let's just use a person that punches in, punches out. If they don't go to work, they don't get paid, right? So your son gets hurt. My son, I'm a poster child. My family is for accident. Gets hurt playing football. He broke his arm in 2 places, right? So he happened to not tolerate. They couldn't do the surgery right away because of compartmental syndrome. So they had to wait until the swelling went down. Well, he couldn't tolerate oral pain medication, so they couldn't send him home. So they put him in the hospital for 2 days. So I, as a mom, I sat in the hospital room and worked from the hospital room. Your folks are going to a job site. So that money that I got, or that my accident plan paid me, helped me with my co-pays. It helped me with I had vacation time, so, I was okay. But folks that don't have that, it helps all of those hidden expenses, the things that, that the coverage that your medical doesn't cover, like if your son got hurt, they're not going to pay you disability. You're not on disability.
right.
So those are the kind of things that it helps, just round out that out-of-pocket expenses that you'd have in the event that one of your kids got in an accident, or you did for that matter.
Because the parents are financially exposed as well,
Bingo.
right? I mean,
Right.
yeah, and they don't always really think about that yet.
No.
Right.
So let me ask you this. I'm a rank and file member. A week from now, I see this podcast. What do I do?
Yeah.
I would contact your trustee, your administrator, and say, hey, do we have these benefits available? They may. And if not, contact us and we can have a discussion and try to customize a program for that particular fund is the best way to do that.
And if I'm a business manager or someone in the administration, what's the easiest and best way to get in touch with you to talk about this suite of products and services for their membership?
You would either contact myself. I can give my phone number out, or
I can put it in the
you can put it on
notes.
there.
Yeah.
Or Melanie, either one
Right.
of us. We work together. We work hand in hand on this all day long. What I want to make a point of, because we've been asked this before, very pointedly, actually in this state, for some reason, by other union leaders, is there's been issues where companies like ours will show up at people's homes. They call them at night. They're knocking. They're standing at the back of the work site, trying to enroll people. And the union itself, the fund, wasn't involved with that process. We don't do that. And we'll put that, in writing, because we do everything with the permission of the fund. And usually there's a consultant or a broker also involved. And we put a communication plan based upon what they do. We just are not a company that's going to do, show up at people's homes, call them at night, unless we get permission. Now, that may be a way that the enrollment's done, but unless the union tells us that's okay, we're not going to do that. So that's a big thing. And I've been asked about that many times. That's been an issue. So we just want to make sure that people are aware of that, because you're not going to get, stuff like that happen to you. And I want to go back to that point on the life insurance. Many years ago, when I had young children, it dawned on me that, if something happened to my wife, I've got to take care of them. Mm-hmm. And how would I do that? Well, it'd come out of my pocket because I'd have to hire somebody to stay at home with them 24/7. Even though when she worked, we still had daycare. But that changes everything when you have a job like mine to becoming almost 24/7 care. So I ended up buying life insurance on the spouse, and that's part of what one of our selling points is on the additional life insurance is to buy benefits on your spouse. So if something would happen to your spouse, you got at least some coverage to help because of the work your spouse may do in helping support the family and even your children. You hate to think about it, but the cost of a funeral is, $10,000 plus.
Yeah.
And unless you have coverage on them, and that, people hate to think about that, but it's a reality that hits you, and that keeps from having to, send a hat around and things like that.
If someone wanted to see what you do, what the suite of products that you do, versus what they're already offered, could you take a business manager or someone through that? Hey, these are the holes in your plan, because that would seem like to me, if I'm a new business manager particularly, and I want to look at all the different things that we're doing and offering our members, and are we serving them the best we can? Is that a way? Can you kind of help go through their plan and shoot holes through it?
Yeah, we absolutely do that all the time. So
Yeah.
we would go through, and what we also do, so think about this too. Let's say you guys have negotiated a disability contract and it's $300 a week, right? Well, $300 a week probably might be, 30% of their income. It might be, whatever. We could do like a wraparound plan that basically says, okay, you get this much from the union and you're eligible for 60% of your income. So here's the additional that you're eligible for.
Yeah.
Here's the gap, right? And then folks can either go with it or just stay with the $300 that they get from the union, because you guys negotiate great benefits for your folks.
Yeah.
I mean, of all, even from an employer standpoint, when we go into a single employer and offer these benefits, you guys actually, most of the single employers, they're not negotiating any type of any type of disability benefits for them. They have sick time, but that's it. So, I mean, those kind of things, just to round out, again, I keep saying the word round out, but it really does. It just rounds out. And then maybe as a union member, maybe I bought life insurance. I have it for myself. I'm good to go. But then maybe my spouse needs it. And it's just my spouse. And I can just cover my spouse. I don't have to cover myself to cover other family members on it.
Yeah. One of the things we talk about in one of the last union meetings I was at is that the beneficiary, if they get divorced or whatever, they think they're rolling and they forget to reassign that benefit. That happens quite a bit, I bet.
Happens quite a bit. We get into some messy situations, and we're bound by whatever the form says. And it could have been 2 wives ago. I'm sorry, but we've seen some really weird stuff happen, and everybody's making a claim, and all it does is hurts the people that actually need the money. So I would encourage people to make sure their beneficiary is up to date.
Yeah.
I just want to say, first of all, thank you for your relationship with SMART. That's my union, but also other unions as well. And the work you're doing in that space is very much needed. And I think it's just a matter of getting the word out. I know we're just on we've just planted the tree and put a little water on it here in Georgia with this. And I value the relationship that we're going to have years to come. Thank you for being involved in our golf tournament coming up.
Happy to sponsor.
Sponsoring that is great. And doing this podcast, getting the information out. And, our job is to bring information to the members, to the managers, to give them an opportunity to do business that will help their members. I think this is a good avenue. So if you would, tell us what website people could go to.
Amalgamatedbenefits.com. And in there you'll find a link to all our sister companies. We're also in the administration side of the business. We have a pharmacy benefit program called AEBRX. You'll see that's also, we promote as it being a union PBA program. You'll see AEBA, which is our administration. You'll see we have Amalgamated Medical Care Management, which is a variety of medical care management programs, and we are the backroom for some Blues plans and other Medicaid, Medicare plans across the country. And we have a very unique telemedicine program that's integrated with our nurse line, which we've been in that business for 30 years. 4 URAC accreditations, and if you know that side of the business, is a huge deal. And our Alley Graphics, which does print and work for Union Print Shop in New York. So,
Is there a phone number for people to? Well, if I pick up the phone, all this sounds awesome, and then I get back to what I'm doing, I forget what we're doing. Can I pick up the phone and talk to a human being?
are you talking about a salesperson?
Yeah,
or
just somebody who answers the phone and can walk me through that sort of thing.
Yes, you
Okay.
can give me a call.
Mike, Melanie, thank you for joining us. It's Amalgamated Benefits. Google it.com, right?
Yep.
And we appreciate you being on Talkin Trades.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, guys.